not just to the point of calling people up and saying, "Hey, I'm John Keel. Tell me about your story." People actually saying, "Hey, this sounded exactly like you." And a lot of time, there was like one crazy story where he made an appointment to go see one of these contactees. Turns up at their house, and this has never met him before, and this person says, "What are you doing back here?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And you would say, "You were just here. You were physically just here. We already gave you the story, and we talked to you already, and you kind of left. And then now you're back?" And he said, "I was never here." And so you see in these letters, like he talks to a lot of people about some guy just turning up who looks exactly like him, a complete doppelganger, like a complete double.
Weird.
Acts in a lot of different letters. He talks about like he acts kind of weird and distant. These people say it wasn't quite you, but it looked exactly like you.
Whoa.
And I think that was like the weirdest thing. But that's
so whatever it was, like knew that he was investigating it and was
Yeah.
like, messing with him and ruining his credibility
Yeah.
in some way.
Right. So
But why? What's the point?
I think it's just to completely throw these people off. It's like gaslighting.
So, but it might be a government program, because if people are making contact and it's sort of positive, and then these people are being forced to make contact and it's negative, I mean, it seems like
Well,
somebody.
Both Keel and people like Jacques Vallée, they both attribute this UFO stuff and the high strangeness, paranormal stuff as being from the one source of whatever it is. And so Keel kind of coined this term, ultra-terrestrials. So he was saying, look, this isn't necessarily from beings from another planet. This is something far more bizarre. These trickster spirits, basically. A lot of it sounds like. And there's actually so I was reading
So they could be trickster aliens or trickster spirits, or both?
It's kind of from the one group, is what he was saying. It's the one thing. And it actually, like, tell me if this sounds like, so you had your interview with the British guy who believed we're all in a matrix and there's like structure around us, basically. Virtual reality structure that keeps us in check, basically. So listen to, this is from Keel. Listen to this, if this sounds familiar. So it says, from Keel's perspective, then the UFO mystery is simply a modern version of the same game, in quotes, the ultra-terrestrials have been playing on humanity since time immemorial. As to what these entities are trying to achieve, he speculated they operate as part of a subtle cosmological system of control that has been in effect since the dawn of humanity. This view mirrors the French computer scientist and UFO researcher Jacques Vallée, who hypothesized that UFO phenomena is a control system for human consciousness.
That sounds exactly like the guy I interviewed in the UK.
Yeah, it's kind of. It just reminded me, and maybe Jacques Vallée didn't sound like he was talking specifically about a virtual reality construct that's built around us, but similar idea of the whole thing being like keeping us in this box of,
God, I hate to criticize basically a genius, because I am not, but I disagree that it's all fake, basically.
Well, I don't think it's all fake, but there is some element to it, because...
Sure, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that there's some element to it.
A lot of the stuff.
Sorry, correction.
There's just too much evidence to say the contrary, that it's real things from real places interacting with us, so maybe both can be true. Both can be true.
So Keel believed, and I think this kind of parallels a lot with what we were talking about last week with the Archons and also the Jinn, which we haven't really gone into yet, but we should at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
But he kind of says these ultra-terrestrial tricksters, sometimes they can be good, sometimes they can be bad. They're just like...
very human,
operating behind the scenes from he believes from different sort of realms, different dimensions. Yeah, and they can kind of manifest themselves here when they want to, and kind of just toy with us, basically.
Right.
Well, the UK guy said that there's these little AI devices that were actually mimicking people's human voices and creating likenesses of other people.
Interesting. Okay.
Like he has videos of something literally mimicking his voice. So,
Yeah.
Maybe that could be part of the AI system. But I do also
Maybe.
agree that there's things that people are actually reaching outside of that.
Oh, yeah, maybe there's multiple things. Like, for example, Keel investigated the Mothman prophecies. We all know there was these giant moth-like creatures that were basically harbingers of death.
Yeah.
But what people don't realize is that same
Or a
experience... Say again?
Or a warning. At
A
least.
warning, right? Yeah, foreshadowing of future events.
Yeah.
But people don't realize that same event. People were reporting UFOs everywhere. People were reporting floating heads in the forest. There was all this high strangeness associated with it.
That's right,
You
yeah.
wonder if when a portal opens or people make contact that there's multiple things that come through. I think it's a lot more
Yeah.
complex than one answer, but maybe one answer covers a huge chunk of it. Go on.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. Like a lot of this stuff, a lot of these letters and stuff happened in the 60s and 70s that were written. And, you know,
That's so cool. I love that. I just love that stuff.
Yeah, it's great. Like if you go through and there's a huge portion that is correspondence between him and this lady called Jay Parrow. I think she used to have a radio show, and she has this bizarre story of it's just this ongoing craziness that happened to her when she sort of made contact with these things and these crazy visitors who kind of interact with her throughout her life, and they take her to different bases and stuff and
Whoa.
give her these
Military bases?
horrible end of the no, it's alien bases. These horrible like end of the world prophecies were given to her. None of them ever sort of came about, but
Yeah.
but yeah, more recent stuff feels more sinister to me too. Like literally, again, it sounds like a portal's opened up and shit all of a sudden breaks loose.
Which is what Sarah was talking about our last
Yeah.
podcast, that there's definitely a portal open, and it's you know, we started this out with you talking about something positive. As many people that are raising the vibration positive, the darkness is coming up at the same time, so it's like increasing.
I think
So-
it's a natural balance in everything, consciousness, in the physical world, in the spiritual world. Everything needs
The
to have this
alien world.
balance. Like
Yeah.
you can't have the light without the dark.
Can't
Yep.
feel good unless you know how to feel bad.
Right, sweet ain't as sweet without the sour.
But
But yeah, that's really interesting, Matt.
Yeah.
all right. Well, I actually have a new segment that where I update you on all the new archaeology finds that are happening this week. Digging in the dirt.
So dirty.
Stop it, you guys. All right, so this actually happened this week, and the article is posted on Live Science, and I thought this was kind of interesting for a show. An Incan idol that allegedly escaped conquistadors' destruction is real, new analysis shows. So if you go to Live Science and you type in Incan idol, there's this basketball player size wooden idol that allegedly was supposed to be destroyed by the conquistadors. There's a legend talking about how they destroyed it in 1533 and smashed it in many pieces so that all the people were basically crushed because this idol was an oracle. And so they actually discovered the oracle, this basketball size player size. So I'm assuming this is about 7 feet tall, in 1938. But they didn't understand until recently, this week, with carbon-14 dating, was that this idol is older than the Incan Empire.
Whoa.
Which means they took it from an older civilization before them, and they worshipped it because it had great power. It was almost like a supernatural entity that would perform miracles for them.
Is there do you have a photo over there? Can you describe it for the listeners at home?
Yeah, so it is red. And at one point they thought it was red because of blood sacrifices, but it's not true. It's a certain mineral that they use to coat it. And it looks like, basically, if you ever go to a tiki bar... and you get like a tiki cup with a face on it and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Like, that's
sure.
literally what it looks like, except it's 7 feet tall and it's like
very-
blood red.
like totem pole face kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
But very. So they're doing more research on what tribe or group of people that could have been. But this is a huge discovery because now they're going even further back in time.
Yeah.
To see who actually built this very. The reason that they're happy that they found even 1938 was that this was the pinnacle of this religion. This was everything to them. This was their god, if you will. So
Wow, I just love that things are getting older. I'm not sure if this is trying to rewrite history, but I just love that they're doing LiDAR technology in South America and finding all these ancient cities. I love they're finding things that are even older and making our history so much more complex and rich. I'd love to know more about that idol, though, like what religion, what civilization. That's just really fascinating stuff.
yeah, so
And the fact
that's
that it was borrowed, like not borrowed, but basically it was repurposed from a completely different civilization all of a sudden,
Right.
For something else or something
right.
similar.
Well, I think that they kind of made it sound like it's in Lima, Peru. That's where this idol was found. That they kind of, the Incas just came to the same area and took over what was already a powerful area. We hear about this all the time. A church is built on top of an older burial site,
totally.
or a sacred site. So it's definitely a sacred site. But the reason I bring it up in this, and not only because it's a new discovery this week, but also that it's interesting because this is an idol. I know we're talking about contacting aliens, but at one point, this idol they believed could get them in contact with something higher.
Ooh, good time.
Interesting.
So it's a thing that humans do. It's not just because they came up with the categories of contact with alien life, 1 through 7. It's because throughout time, humans have found ways to communicate with things they can't see,
Interesting. This has been going on since the dawn of time.
and it
Yes.
keeps getting older. All right, guys, that's all the time we have for this week's Cosmic Cantina. I'm your host, Melissa Tittle, and join us next week.
Goodbye.
Peace out.